Hi, this is MGTV, and I'm Michelle Greenman, and I teach women how to create natural, holistic lifestyles so they can overcome chronic disease without diets, crazy drugs, or surgery. Now, today I want to talk to you about symptoms and why symptoms are your friend. So, I thought of 3 reasons why symptoms are things that you want to be able to pay attention to and really see why they're important and what to do when you see them. So, let's just get right into it. Now, the first reason why symptoms are your friends is because they tell you that something is wrong. And this is important because we can go years and years and years with our body just compensating for any of the things that we might be doing that are bad and not really telling us, as we can see them, what's wrong. So symptoms tell us that there's something wrong. And the reason why this is a good thing is because we want to know this as soon as possible. There's a lot of things out there, tests that are early detection that really are not that early. You have to be pretty sick for a lot of these early detection tests to really figure out that there's something wrong. But some of the symptoms that tell us that there's something wrong come automatically. So fatigue, for example. On my natural health assessment, I have a list of statements, and if you can't say that these are true, they show that there's symptoms. And a lot of these are things that people don't notice, like being thirsty. When you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, and dehydration is the cause of lots of problems that can happen. And so really understanding that symptoms are telling you that there's something wrong, and if you pay attention to them, that you do not have to go years and years and years and suddenly get cancer or have a heart attack or have something really bad happen to you, that you can know exactly what's happening. So the first reason foremost is that symptoms tell you that something is wrong. Now the second reason is symptoms tell you what is wrong. This is why we go to doctors, and this is why, even though I really teach natural health and I focus a lot on natural health, I want my clients to go to doctors when they think that there's something wrong, to get a checkup on a regular basis, and to know the right questions to ask doctors. So the reason why symptoms are your friends in telling you what is wrong is because doctors are pretty good. They would be the best people out there to tell you, based on your symptoms, what diseases are likely operating, or what's happening, or what is the kind of syndrome or disorder. And I put these around quotes because really the names given to diseases are just names based on the amount of symptoms. And so a lot of the newer psychological diseases really come from it's kind of sad, but it's interesting. It really comes from a bunch of people sitting around going, well, if I say these 5 things in somebody, what should I call it? And oh, let's call it this. And so many times when people are diagnosed with something, they get really scared. They feel like this is a death sentence, or there's something that's really awful happening, and they have these feelings that are pretty horrible, instead of feeling like, okay, this is normal. Based on what's been happening, I can change this. I'm empowered because I know what's wrong. I definitely grew up in a generation where I watched G.I. Joe as a cartoon, and G.I. Joe's ending kind of tagline and lesson was always, knowing is half the battle. And so I think I just grew up really thinking that is, you want to know that there is something wrong, and you want to know what's wrong. You do not have to do what the doctor tells you to do. You do not have to diet. You have options. You have a way to see things differently, but you do need to know what's wrong. So symptoms are your friends because they tell you what's wrong. So you may get a bunch of symptoms, and based on these symptoms, you're told you are pre-diabetic, or you have diabetes, or you have heart disease, or you have high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, or you have fibromyalgia, or you have PCOS, or I mean, there's so many things that could be happening. Psychological disorders. You could have OCD or you could have ADHD. I mean, there's so many. But telling you what is wrong is a good thing, and knowing that is a great thing because it gives you that power to be able to deal with what is actually wrong. So the third reason why symptoms are your friends is because now that you know something's wrong, now that you know that something what is wrong, when you actually address it the right way, the symptoms going away tell you you're getting better. Now, unfortunately, this has been not always the case in the way that we deal with disease. Because now we can take drugs and the drugs take away the symptoms, but they don't actually make us better. And most of the time, they actually make us worse. And so while this is a really good thing with symptoms, there's a way we've found as a society to cut off what is actually supposed to happen. So what's supposed to happen, for example, like my blog post on summer colds and how to get over a cold in 48 hours, is you're supposed to say like, hey, I have a runny nose and I'm coughing a little bit, and so I have a cold, right? Like there's something actually wrong and I'm diagnosed with a cold. And I know that the cause of a cold is this, so I do these natural things and the symptoms go away, so I know that I'm getting better. But what we do is we say, hey, there's something that's not quite right. Oh, I have diabetes. I'm going to take this medication and the symptoms go away, but I actually get sicker. And that's what happens when we're taking drugs. So you want symptoms to tell you that there's something wrong because they're the body's way of telling you, hey, there's something that needs to be changed. This is huge. Just remember, G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. You want to know exactly what is wrong. There's many, many things that can be operating. Like I was saying, that my natural health assessment is a little bit more specific to the causes and not specific to the symptoms. And so you might have a lot of symptoms around, for example, dehydration. 5 different people could have 5 different symptoms, but drinking water is going to fix all of them. And so the actual assessment, because I wanted a lot of people to be able to do it and for you not to be writing things down forever, is based on only looking at the causes. So based on figuring out what is wrong, that would be the next step, is you want to look at what the causes are operating for you. Is it that you're not getting enough sleep? Is it that you're not drinking enough water? You're not eating properly? You're not getting exercise? I mean, there's a bunch of things it could be. You're not thinking properly. And then when you start to do these things, symptoms are your friends because they show you that you're getting better. They show you that you're making improvements. They show you that things are changing. So like I have this one client who our first thing was drinking water, and it usually is with most people who are not healthy. And she saw this huge improvement when she started drinking water. And then this last week, she hasn't been drinking water, and she noticed all of these symptoms. She had bags under her eyes. Her feet started to get swollen. Her fingers were a little bit puffy. She noticed that she was really low energy, and she just kind of felt foggy, and she started getting headaches. Well, the truth is, she probably was experiencing these symptoms way before she knew they were ever connected with water. And it was amazing to have that power to be like, I know that I'm not doing these things. I know I can figure out why I'm not doing these things, and I know I can start right now to do them and completely kind of save my life and be my own doctor in a way and really care for myself better. And so I really want you guys to see symptoms as not a bad thing. They're a good thing. They're the body showing us what it's dealing with. So symptoms are your friends. Number 1, because they tell you that something's wrong, so you're not oblivious. Number 2, if you see a doctor, they will tell you what is wrong based on your symptoms. And number 3, if you're doing it the natural way, they will tell you that you're getting better. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm going to put a link underneath here so you can go and sign up for the Natural Health Assessment. It's completely free. You just have to put in your information so I know who exactly to contact about the information. There's 20 statements. They're just yes or no. They give you an honest look at really what's going on with your health. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week.